Hi, welcome to my studio floor. This is where I spend a lot of time sitting doing my work, so I figured I'd do a video from down here today. Today I'm going to be talking about nature journaling kit. So what is it I take with me when I go out on a long walk and a short walk? It all came from a question that was posed on my Patreon on the question and answer thread. And the question came from Kim, and she asked, how long and far do you go for your nature walks with and without journals? Do you have different kits? So I thought what I'd do is I'd show you my short walk stuff and my long walk stuff, and you can tell me what you think of all of this stuff. Is there anything that you'd bring that I kind of neglected to mention? I'd love to hear that in the comments. Also today I thought I'd better point out that although I obviously am filming for YouTube and I have a load of kit that I have to also pack into my bag, I'm going to forget about that today. I'm going to talk just as if I was just going nature journaling and forget about all of the YouTube stuff. Although if you do want to know how I film my YouTube videos outside, just let me know in the comments and I'll make another video all about that. Okay, let's pack a bag for a short walk. This is the bag that I tend to use when I'm going out on a shorter walk because the strap is over the shoulder. It's not as comfortable for a long distance walk where I tend to use the rucksack. I got this messenger style bag. It's only like fake leather. I got it in a market in London many years ago, and I don't think I bought it intending it to be my nature journaling bag, but it turned that way over time. So this is the stuff for if you're only leaving the house for a little while. I'm lucky enough to live near a nature reserve just over the road actually. So I could pack this bag and go out for 15 minutes to an hour or so. Or this could be the kind of setup you might like if you're going to drive somewhere in the car and not venture too far away from the car park. So let's start with what I've got in here. So this is my water bottle. It's got some of my old artwork on it. It's kind of starting to look a bit raggedy on there now, but it's been on there several years. This is just a small water bottle. Then obviously I've got my journal. So of course I always carry this with me. Then I need something to work with, so I always have a couple of mechanical pencils in here. So I've got a Pentel 0.9 and this other Pentel 0.5 size, so I've got two different sizes to work with. Now I always only take with me outside a pencil and sketchbook. Now that's kind of because that's what I want to nature journal with. I don't want the distraction of lots of materials. I've got another spare pencil in here, just a sort of basic one. And then some practical stuff in here as well. So I've got my sunglasses. I'm not saying anything about the really obvious stuff, like I've got my phone in here, or I should have my phone in here. So I'll have my phone and I'll have my keys and wallet and that obviously, but we're not going to worry about that. And I've got a good pair of binoculars here. This is a Nikon pair. So if I'm not using my camera and I want to just get a quick spot on something, I always take these with me. And the good thing about these is I can kind of use them in the rain as well, whereas my nice camera, I only take it out in the good weather. And what else? I've got loads of just general rubbish in the bottom of my bag. I've got another pencil there. Tissues, always important. This is an important thing. I have some spare leads for the mechanical pencils, so just to be sure that these don't kind of run out along the way. So it's important to have, when you have mechanical pencils, to make sure that you've got the spare leads with you. So I have the 0.9s. So I'm well covered for pencils here, you see. If either of my mechanical pencils stops working, I've always got a pencil on me. I've always got at least two pencils on me, to be honest. And I've got a bit of spare change in here. A little bit of money on me, so even if I don't have my wallet, I've got just a few pound coins there. And then finally, this is quite an important pocket. This is my birdseed pocket. So I always carry a couple of bags of birdseed out with me. And that's because I kind of want to bait the birds closer. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's go out for a walk. That was a really nice walk, wasn't it? Spending a bit of time out with the robins and the other birds. Robins are definitely my favourite thing to nature journal. I'm not really talking much in this video about art materials that I use outside because, as you saw in the last part, I'm only ever journaling with just my sketchbook and a pencil. And if you want to find out more about why I'm doing that, you might want to go and take a look at my Patreon or my online course, and I'll tell you all about that. But if you're interested in the art kit that I take out, my art materials, what I take out when I'm doing some more arty stuff outside, my plein air painting kit, then just let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can make a video about that in the future. Now let's pack my big bag because I'm going to be heading out this afternoon to Goat Island in the Undercliffs to take a look at the bee orchids. So I'm going to need a lot more stuff than I had with me for the robins nature journaling trip. Let's take a look. I'm just going to pack the bag now and then I'll show you what I've got in it. So I've got my backpack. And this is nice and comfortable with the shoulders, distributing the weight across both shoulders, so it's much better for a full day out. But then as well as that, I've also got my camera bag with me. So this one's a little bit more accessible down to the side, and I'll carry this one on one side and this one on over my back. Let's take a look at them in turn so you can see what I've got with me today. This is my camera bag, and although I mentioned at the start that I'm not going to be talking about my YouTube filming, I use the camera in here not just for the YouTube filming and stuff for the project. I've also used it as a part of my nature journaling, so I figured I'd better talk to you about that. So as we open this up, here's my big camera. So this is a Nikon Coolpix P2000. It's got a rather huge optical zoom on it, which allows me to get up close and personal with the birds outside and also get extra material to use in my best nature journal. So when I'm doing all of my more detailed pictures from the observations in the field, this is what I'm using to gather all of those observations. So that's why it's important for me to have it with me on these longer walks in particular. Now in here, I've also got my journal again. So I've slipped it in here, just behind the camera, so I can have this kind of a little bit open and always be able to access either my camera or my journal, or sometimes both at the same time if I'm feeling particularly adventurous. So having this little pocket here in this bag, that's really helpful to be able to keep my journals in there. So this is a Vanguard bag that I bought for the camera. It's beautifully padded, as you can see, so it kind of keeps the camera supported, keeps it safe outdoors. And there's also a rain cover here in the back, so if it starts to rain I can pull this out and keep all of my technology safe in here, and the journals too. We want to keep them safe, don't we? Now it also has a very helpful top pocket, so let's see what I've got in here. Two things that I want to be able to grab quickly when I'm out nature journaling. My phone if I just want to take a quick photo for observation, or if I want to get one of the apps out, the identification apps like Merlin or Obs Identify. And then I've also got in here my pencils, so just the ones that you saw before. Pencils, spare leads, everything that I need for my journaling stuff, all accessible. So when I'm walking I've got the bag on my back and I've got this on my side, always accessible. Whenever I see anything good I can just grab it out. And you might wonder, is it uncomfortable walking for a long distance with a big heavy camera like this over my shoulder? The answer is yes. It might be more comfortable to have it in a chest harness or over my back, but I didn't really want to do that because I like to have the accessibility. So it's got this nice padded bit that goes over my shoulder here anyway. It's only towards kind of the end of a very long day that I start to feel tired of this bag. Okay, so let's have a look at the other. Here we go. So this is my other bag. It's a 20 litre, so it's a kind of small day bag. I always carry a blanket with me in the summer, particularly. In the winter I tend to just go with a carrier bag and I'll just sort of sit on that. But this is great for being on the beach or sitting outside for lunch or doing some longer extended journaling. So I'd kind of take this with me. It's a very nice thing. And I tuck it in here in the strap so I can easily pull it out if I want to have a quick sit down. And also it takes up quite a bit of space within the pack itself, so it's better to carry it externally. So swimming stuff. Now, you probably don't need this if you don't live near a beach or a river or something that you can swim in, but I always carry it, especially in the summer. Nice lightweight towel. I've got my trunks here and my swim shoes because we have rocky, pebbly beaches around here, so it's more comfortable to swim in these. Best advice with swim shoes is don't do what I did the other day and get in the sea in your swim shoes and then walk off and leave your other shoes on the beach. I've got big bottle of water here. I always carry a large 1 litre bottle, and on the really hot days I might even carry 2 of these. So making sure that you've got enough water with you on a long day's hiking, hugely important. Preparedness, good thing. Got my suntan lotion and my insect repellent. They're quite, at this time of year, it's pretty important to have these things. On a shorter walk, I'd kind of just stick this on before going out and then not worry about it. But on the longer walk, for these touch-ups, especially if you're swimming, it's worth carrying these with. What else? I think this might be all I have in this compartment. Down under here, I have spare socks and underwear, which is always worth carrying with you. Got a pocket here for loose change. And then here in the top pocket, this is kind of nice accessible stuff as well. So let's have a look. I've got spare pencils, spare leads, just like before. Got my sunglasses in here. Sometimes I stick my hat in here as well when I take it off. Like that. This is quite an important thing. I've got some tick tweezers that look like this. They're just a good idea to have with you. Although I live in a really ticky area, I've only ever had a tick on me once. So I don't know what's up with that. You know, I'm going through this all the time, but just in case I get one, I'd want to be able to remove it safely and quickly, so I'll carry those with me. Then I've got spare business cards. People so often ask me what I'm doing, so if you're someone who has a art business or a nature journaling business and people are likely to ask you what you're doing, then, you know, carry your business cards makes you look super legit. Really good idea. And you never know, you might get some business out of it. Then I've got my tissues, of course. Always got tissues, particularly in hay fever season. And I've got my spare contact lenses because I'm a contact lens wearer. If I was out on a long day walk and I had a contact lens get dislodged, then I've got spares with me, which is a pretty good thing to have. I don't think I've got anything else in here that's worth talking about. I have a memory stick for some reason. There's, I guess, something on there. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. So I'm going to pack all of this stuff back into here, and then we're going to go out to Goat Island and take a look at the bee orchids this afternoon. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I don't have my lunch in here, but I made sure I have enough room for my lunch. Sometimes I buy my lunch before I go out, and obviously keeping yourself well fed on these long walks, especially if you're hulking all of this stuff along with you, is really worthwhile. So let's go out, let's get into the undercliffs, let's go to Goat Island and see if we can find any bee orchids, and I'll show you how I'm using all of this kit when we get out. I've just arrived at Goat Island. It is boiling hot. I've just sat down here in the meadow and I'm going to kind of sit and eat my lunch and then get a few nature journaling observations down. This bee fly really likes to look at my lunch here. I've got like a vegan sushi thing. I'm not actually a vegan, but I try to eat as much vegan food as I can. And then I've been really thankful for these things in particular today. There's so many bugs about, it's really hot. So it's even more important I've got this great big bottle of water here. This is a double insulated bottle. So even though it's obviously black on the outside and getting warm, the liquid inside is staying nice and cool. And I've got my shoes there, just taken them off. They're my new ones, replacing the ones that I left on the beach that time. Just spotted a buzzard. I've just done a bit of note taking, just listing today as many things as I could possibly spot. It's just a bit too hot to sit out nature journaling for too long, and I'm very thankful that I've got all of my kit with me for the hot weather. But to be honest, that sea down there, that's really calling to me. But as you saw before, I've got my swimming kit all packed in this bag, so I'm ready to go down there and really go and cool off. So I really hope that you found it useful hearing about all of the kit that I take out nature journaling with me. As I said before, if you want to see my painting kit, then maybe I'll show you that. Just let me know in the comments. Next time I'm going to be back here in the Undercliffs. I'm going to take you through what I've been doing in my main nature journaling project over the last couple of months. If you haven't seen the first instalment of that project, you need to click on the video link right here, and that will take you through to volume 1 so you can catch up on how I started the project and what I've been doing so far. So do go and check out that video if you haven't seen it already, and I will see you next time.